deceptive.
Really?
Paddy gets fat, but he doesn't get out of shape.
Mm.
Paddy's got incredible endurance and an insane work ethic, but he also really loves to live and live life. So he'll have a few beers, eat some pizza, get fat, but he's...
Ilia Topuria.
Ilia no mas Topuria. He doesn't want no more.
If you want me to fight Posh Boy next, if you want me to fight Chorizo next, if you want me to fight Charles next, anyone can get it.
I think Paddy and Ilia is one of the biggest fights you can make and happen. Let's go.
I think it's one of the easiest fights that I could have in.
After a dominant performance at UFC 299, Paddy Pimblett is wasting absolutely no time. He remains late to face every elite contender as he charges toward UFC gold. Pimblett believes he is destined to become the undisputed champion and...
Mind, do you have some things, hey, this is what I would prefer from you?
No, not really. I want to be a world champion. I want to be undisputed champion of the world. I want to be the first ever world champion from Liverpool. And I'm going to do that. I know that's in my destiny. I know it's in my fate. Whether it's the next fight or the next 10 fights, I'm going to be a world champion. It's that simple. If you want me to fight Justin next, if you want me to fight Posh Boy next, if you want me to fight Chorizo next, if you want me to fight Charles next,
When Paddy the Baddy Pimblett talks lightweight, he pulls absolutely no punches. He's name-checked Max Holloway, a bona fide UFC legend, then immediately went after the division's top contenders, Ilia Topuria, Arman Tsarukyan, Justin Gaethje. Pimblett made it crystal clear he's not merely calling out names.
Which fight would you say is more challenging?
Oh, well, I mean, Ilia is one of the best in the world. He is one of the most dangerous fighters that there is, and he's a lot more dangerous than Paddy Pimblett. However, Paddy Pimblett is goofy. He's got a funky style, and not goofy in a bad way.
Yeah.
Not at all. Being goofy is such an asset. And he's really hard to hit. He's really long. He moves in weird angles and at different times, and so that throws you off. When that's why he has success, and that's why guys like Sean Strickland have success, and guys like Dricus du Plessis have success because their timing is just different and funky. And having a funky style is hard to figure out the first time you're fighting somebody. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just that. I think Ilia is way more dangerous. I think fighting's crazy. I think, in my mind, I think 97 out of 100 times.
Pimblett isn't finished yet. He remains completely locked onto his biggest rival, and a showdown with Ilia Topuria remains his absolute top priority despite the chaos surrounding the lightweight division. He insists their personal beef remains unresolved and wants to settle it permanently inside the octagon.
You, inside the cage with Ilia Topuria, how would you get the job done against Ilia?
To absolutely smash his face in for him. I can see me beating him anywhere the fight goes, to be honest. People have put him on a pedestal now. They think he's this big, amazing thing when I'll bring him crashing back down to it.
However, not everyone agrees with Pimblett's assessment. Justin Gaethje, for instance, is convinced that Ilia Topuria would absolutely dominate Pimblett in a fight. Gaethje points to Topuria's elite striking, his incredibly well-rounded skill set, and his undeniable championship-level ability as proof. He contends that Topuria, the former champion, would...
So, with all the fans around the world, I think that they want to see that fight. And at the same time, I have to be honest, I think it's one of the easiest fights that I could have in the lightweight division. I don't know. I can do with him whatever I want to do in reality. It's very excited fight for the fans.
Yeah.
Where I'm gonna enjoy a lot the whole process. And at the same time, it's a fight where I'm going to be able to shine once again.
How would you win? When would you win? Give us some of that Ilia prediction magic.
Against Paddy?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to think about it. I promise you, I could choose the way I want to finish.
First round?
Be that's for sure. He's not going to stay there for more than one round with me. But I don't know. Maybe it's going to be cool to submit him in the ground with a triangle choke from the mount, something like that. As I told him.
Paddy Pimblett isn't buying the hype at all. He cuts through the unbeaten aura surrounding Topuria, calling it massively overblown. Confidently, he predicts he'll finish Topuria, whether by knockout standing up or by submission on the mat, and vows that if the fight is booked...
To get you into that dogfight, drags you into it. You know what I mean? And Ilia's never had that. Ilia's never had to come back from adversity. Ilia's only ever been the hammer. He's never been the nail. Know what I mean? That's why after that fight with Justin that I had, I knew I could come back stronger and better because I've done it before. I don't think Ilia Topuria ever comes back.
Ilia Topuria remains completely confident, showing zero hesitation about a potential matchup with Paddy Pimblett. Topuria stated, "Paddy Pimblett is one of the easiest fights in the lightweight division." He guaranteed complete control from the opening bell through the finish, predicting a dominant performance. He even joked that he could choose his preferred method of victory, further fueling one of the UFC's most intense and personal rivalries.
Benoit Saint-Denis versus Paddy the Baddy lad. Paddy the Baddy Pimblett lad. Yous know who the boy is, lad. Yous know who the fucking boy is, lad. I'm the star of the show, lad. Paddy Pimblett steals the show with a generational performance against Benoit Saint-Denis. Amazing win. Genuinely amazing win. I don't know what the odds ended at, but when I was picking Paddy Pimblett, he's still an underdog. I think he was even more of an underdog when I was picking him as well. The odds closed up a little bit. But people were counting out Paddy here big time. And I said, what did I say, lad? Paddy said the same thing, actually, this fight week. I didn't make my prediction based on what he was saying. But that's the route to victory for him. If he stings Benoit on the feet and Benoit thinks I'll grapple, he leaves his head in position for a real elite fight.
Pimblett is doubling down, insisting Ilia Topuria will never be the same fighter following his latest defeat. Pimblett claims Topuria's star will never shine the same way after that damaging loss. He maintains that the brutal punishment Ilia Topuria absorbed during the bout could permanently destroy his confidence and derail his future performances.
Minutes ago, I'd submit Charles.
And have you heard anything back from him or?
No, I've got nothing but respect for Charles. You know what I mean? He's an absolute legend in the sport, but he's on his way out. And I think if he tried to grapple with me, I'd submit him. But we'd probably end up having a war for 5 rounds on the feet if I ended up fighting Charles Oliveira.
Following UFC 329, the MMA guru delivered a bombshell verdict. Paddy Pimblett completely stole the spotlight against Benoit Saint-Denis. Pimblett wasn't merely impressive. He was a dominant force. To everyone who doubted him, the guru declared Paddy Pimblett had proven them spectacularly wrong as an underdog.
Amazing. What's next for Paddy? We don't know. I don't think it's going to be a title fight. I think maybe a fight with Charles Oliveira. He called him out.
I've got nothing but respect for Charles. You know what I mean? He's an absolute legend in the sport, but he's on his way out. And I think if he tried to grapple with me, I'd submit him.
Maybe a fight with Max Holloway. Maybe if I would just engage it. A fight with Max Holloway would make a lot of sense. If Max wants to come back down to 155, which I think he will. He looked quick, he looked fast, he looked mean, he looked lean.
After that explosive performance, MMA guru insists the UFC must book Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria immediately after UFC 329. He says Pimblett's statement victory has supercharged their rivalry, giving both fighters massive momentum and creating absolute chaos. Guru calls it one of the most compelling.
Great fight that somebody in the know, I got to leave their name out, but somebody whose opinion matters just suggested Max Holloway versus Paddy the Baddy. Now, I understand the recency bias on getting them together, but there's still a post-fight press conference. There's post-fight media. If those guys go out and find one another, right, I don't think it's a fight that the UFC is going to get going. Paddy the Baddy's already got his hands full. He got business with Arman Sarukian. He's got business with Ilia Topuria. Justin Gaethje mentioned last night, if you guys didn't see, that he has not yet decided if he's going to retire or continue to compete. I didn't even know that was on the table. I thought Gaethje was all in, but just imagine that Gaethje was to step aside. That puts the belt up at a vacated standpoint. 2 athletes are going to be asked to come forward. I have to assume.
Jorge Masvidal agrees, but there's a twist. Jorge Masvidal said, Paddy Pimblett's latest win made a fight with Ilia Topuria absolutely undeniable. Masvidal believes this rivalry has every ingredient of a mega fight, pointing to the real bad blood, massive momentum, and championship implications. He is demanding the UFC book this matchup immediately, calling it one of the biggest fights in the sport right now. Wow. Pimblett not only called out Topuria, but also Paddy Pimblett's career suddenly shifted gears after UFC 329. That is Michael Bisping's verdict, as he believes that although a title shot may not be the immediate destination, blockbuster matchups absolutely are. Bisping said, "Think Charles Oliveira. Think Max Holloway." Bisping sees these fights as ideal next steps to amplify Pimblett's momentum and genuinely discover what he is capable of. Cal Soden, never one to resist stirring the pot, echoes that sentiment and pushes it even further. He believes Paddy Pimblett, after that dominant performance, is suddenly drowning in massive opportunities. While everyone's buzzing about a Max Holloway fight, Soden argues that matchups with Ilia Topuria or Arman Tsarukyan make even more sense. And here's the kicker. If Justin Gaethje steps aside and the lightweight title picture reshuffles, Pimblett could rocket himself straight into championship contention.